Space near the edge of the galaxy was quiet, too quiet for any normal traveler. It was a forgotten place, a region of cold light and drifting dust where no ship had passed for many years. Yet on this silent day, something strange happened. A signal appeared, weak and broken, like a dying whisper trying to cross an endless night. Captain Arya Vale sat on the command chair of the human flagship Solar Wrath, watching the long-range scanners. Her crew moved calmly, unaware that their lives were about to change. Suddenly the ship's AI spoke. "Captain, unknown transmission detected. Origin, the Gray Void." Arya frowned. Nothing ever came out of the Gray Void. It was considered dead space. But when the signal played, every person on the bridge froze. A human voice screamed through static. "Help? Please, they took us." Metal clashing followed. Then another voice, terrified and fading. "They are back. The slavers." "The slavers?" Silence. For a moment, the bridge felt colder than space outside. Humanity believed the slavers were destroyed 200 years ago. The Galactic Council had promised it. They said the threat was gone forever. But this recording, full of fear and human DNA markers, told a different story. Arya stood up slowly. "Trace the signal. I want the exact coordinates." Her officers worked quickly. A map appeared. The signal came from deep inside the Gray Void. "That region is restricted," her first officer warned. "The Council forbids any investigation there." Arya's eyes were firm. The Council also said slavers were extinct. No one argued after that. Within minutes, the Solar Wrath shifted course and accelerated into the Forbidden region. As they moved closer, strange wrecks appeared, broken human ships, burnt stations, and forgotten probes. Something terrible had happened here. Energy spikes rose on the sensors. Then they saw it. A giant dark shape floated ahead, larger than any ship they had ever seen. Its design was old, sharp, cruel. Everyone on the bridge recognized it at once. A slaver harvesting vessel. Active, alive, and waiting. Another signal burst through the speakers, but this time it was not a cry for help. It was a broadcast, cold and confident. "Human vessel. You should not have come. Humanity belongs to us again." Arya's heart pounded, but her voice stayed steady. "This is Captain Arya Vale of the Solar Wrath. Identify yourselves." The answer came like a threat. "We are the rightful rulers of the weak. The Council cannot protect you. Leave now, or be taken." The crew looked at Arya. Some were afraid. Some were angry. All waited for her order. Arya took a single breath. "No," she said. "We will not leave." At that moment, everyone understood something important. The old fear that once controlled the galaxy had returned. Humanity had been living a lie. The slavers were alive. They had never stopped hunting. And now, for the first time in centuries, humans knew the truth. The silence of the galaxy had been broken, and the slavers' fate had just begun. The slaver vessel did not wait. As soon as the Solar Wrath held its position, the darkness around them came alive. One by one, more shapes detached from the shadows. Sharp ships with long metal spines and glowing red engines. It was like watching predators circling their prey. "Captain, we count 9 hostile ships," the tactical officer reported. "All slaver signatures. 9 ships." In ancient history, even one slaver ship meant disaster. But Arya did not step back. She leaned forward, shields up. "Weapons ready?" The slavers sent another message, this time full of pride and cruelty. "Humans, your return brings us joy. We have missed your fear. Do not resist. You cannot fight us." Arya did not bother replying. The slavers fired first. Bright beams slashed across space, striking the Solar Wrath's shields. The ship shook, but did not fall. Human technology had changed. Human strength had grown. "Return fire," Arya said calmly. The Solar Wrath answered with powerful blue cannons. The shots hit the nearest slaver ship, tearing through its armor. The enemy vessel spun, engines exploding in a burst of orange flame. The bridge cheered for a second, then more slaver ships appeared on the scanners, rising from behind broken asteroids. "Captain." "They were waiting for us," the sensor officer whispered. It was a trap. But Arya did not panic. "Full attack pattern," she ordered. "Target engines first. I want them alive if possible." The crew followed without hesitation. The Solar Wrath moved like a creature of light, firing, dodging, turning. Human pilots were fast. Human weapons were brutal. Within minutes, 2 more slaver ships were disabled. Still, the slavers pushed harder. Their leader appeared on the screen, a tall creature with silver skin and cold black eyes. "You fight well," he hissed. "Better than your ancestors. But you are still nothing. Humanity will kneel again." Arya stared back at him. "Not today." The slaver commander laughed as if he didn't believe her. But his laugh ended quickly when the Solar Wrath launched its boarding hooks and dragged his ship closer. "Prepare to board," Arya said. Human Marines stormed into the slaver vessel. The halls were dark, filled with chains and empty cages. They fought through guards, disabling them with controlled strikes. At the center of the ship they found something horrific: stasis pods filled with unconscious human women, children, taken from frontier colonies over many years. The truth hit Arya like a blade. The slavers had never stopped. The disappearances, the missing ships, the lost stations, it was all their doing. Her Marines captured the slaver commander and brought him to the Solar Wrath, under pressure. He finally spoke. "The Council knows," he said with a cruel smile. "They always knew. We made a deal. Your people were a price they accepted." Shock spread through the crew. Betrayal. Years of lies. Countless stolen humans. The slavers were not the only enemy now. Arya looked at her crew with steady eyes. "We continue. Deeper into the void. We find everyone they took." The first battle was over, but the real war had just begun. The captured slaver commander had given them a location before he fell unconscious. A world deep inside the gray void. A world the slavers called Cage World. The journey took several hours. During that time, no one on the Solar Wrath spoke loudly. The crew worked quietly, each person thinking about the prisoners they had seen on the slaver ship. Some were children. Some were old. All were stolen from peaceful colonies. When Cage World finally came into view, the bridge fell silent. The planet was covered in metal. Tower after tower rose into the sky, stretching like giant needles. Thousands of them. Maybe millions. Each tower had cold lights. Each tower had walls made of black steel. No one needed to guess what it was. "It's a prison planet," whispered the navigator. "A whole world built to hold slaves." Arya felt her heart tighten. "Prepare landing teams. We are going down." The Solar Wrath moved toward the surface. As the ship descended, they saw transport lines carrying cages, guards marching in rows, and broken ships stripped parts. The planet was a giant machine built for suffering. Human Marines landed first, moving in silence through the metal corridors. The deeper they went, the louder the sounds became: cries, chains, and the echo of guards shouting orders. Then they found the main tower. Inside were rows of cages filled with terrified prisoners. Humans, aliens, old, young, everyone looked half-starved and hopeless. When the Marines entered, the prisoners backed away, afraid, until one prisoner stepped forward, a man with gray hair and tired eyes. A man everyone thought was dead. Commander Ren Heil. He had vanished 12 years ago with his entire fleet. Now he stood in a torn uniform, alive but broken. "Commander Hawley," Arya whispered. He smiled weakly. "I knew someone would come. I just didn't know it would take this long." The Marines opened cages while Arya spoke with Hawley. "Tell me everything," she said. Hale's voice was rough, but clear. The slavers were never destroyed. The Council didn't want another war. They made a silent deal. The slavers could take people from the outer colonies, as long as they stayed out of Council space. Arya felt anger rising like fire. They traded human lives. "Yes," Hawley said. "For peace." Before Arya could answer, alarms exploded across the prison tower. Red lights flashed. The ground shook. The slaver overlord had arrived. From orbit, massive slaver battleships filled the sky, forming a dark ring around the planet. Their engines roared like thunder. A warning message blasted through every speaker. "Humans, you dare touch our world. Your species belongs to us. Prepare to be reclaimed." Arya immediately activated her comms. "All teams, evacuate now. Protect the prisoners." The slaver fleet began firing on the planet itself. Explosions tore open towers. Metal beams fell from the sky. The ground cracked under heavy bombardment. Marines carried prisoners through fire and falling debris. The Solar Wrath dropped rescue pods and shields to protect the evac zone. The sky burned red. The planet shook. And for the first time in centuries, humans stood on a slaver world and fought back. The escape had begun, but the biggest battle was still waiting. The sky above Cage World had turned into a storm of fire. Slaver battleships circled the planet like metal predators, firing nonstop. Every blast shook the ground, tearing open towers and sending burning steel crashing down. Arya stood in the middle of the chaos, shouting orders as smoke and dust filled the air. "Move the prisoners. Keep them behind the shields. Marines, cover the rear." The Solar Wrath hovered above the surface, lowering its ramp and defensive barriers. Bright blue shields protected the evac zone, but they were already flickering from the incoming fire. Then the largest slaver ship appeared, a monster of dark metal and red engines. Its very presence made the ground tremble. The slaver overlord ship, a deep, cold voice echoed across every communicator on the planet. "Human captain, you are brave, but foolish. You bring war to our world. You bring death to your own." Arya looked up at the sky, jaw tight. "I'm not afraid of you." The overlord answered with a slow, cruel laugh. "You should be. Humanity once belonged to us, and you will again." He activated his super weapon. A massive beam of red energy began to gather under his ship's hull. The weapon was powerful enough to wipe out half the planet in one shot. "Captain, if that beam fires, we're finished," her first officer warned. Arya made her choice instantly. "Activate Protocol Nova." Gasps spread across the bridge. Protocol Nova was a forbidden battle mode. It connected human neural signals directly to the ship's AI, pushing reflex speed, targeting, and power to dangerous levels. It was only meant for the worst situations. This moment qualified. Arya stepped onto the command interface. The system scanned her eyes and connected. Suddenly, she felt the Solar Wrath's heartbeat, its engines, its weapons, its fear and its fury. "Let's show them what humanity really is," she whispered. The Solar Wrath shot upward like a lightning strike, shields glowing bright. It fired beam after beam at the slaver fleet, cutting through smaller ships in seconds. Human Marines cheered from the ground as fiery debris fell like meteors. The Overlord growled. "So, the humans remember how to fight." He launched his full fleet. Dozens of slaver ships attacked at once, but the Solar Wrath moved faster than any of them expected. Protocol Nova made the ship feel alive, almost human. Arya guided it through enemy lines, firing, dodging, striking. Every movement was sharp, perfect, deadly. Slaver ships exploded across the sky. Meanwhile, on the ground, Commander Hale led Marines and freed prisoners toward waiting shuttles. They fought through guards and collapsing towers, pushing forward with everything they had. "We can't hold much longer." Hale shouted over comms. "You won't have to," Arya replied. "I'm ending this." She aimed directly for the Overlord's command ship. The slaver superweapon fired at the same moment the Solar Wrath charged. A red beam of death met a blue shield of fury. The collision lit up the entire sky, a blinding flash. A shockwave that pushed clouds aside. A roar that echoed across the planet. When the light faded, the Solar Wrath burst through the smoke, heading straight for the Overlord's bridge. The final strike had begun. The Solar Wrath tore through the clouds of burning metal as it approached the slaver Overlord's command ship. Sparks rained across the hull, alarms screamed, but Arya did not slow down. Her eyes stayed locked on the target. This was the moment everything would change. The Overlord's voice echoed one last time. "You cannot win, human. You fight with emotion." "We fight with purpose," Arya answered calmly. "Our purpose is freedom. That's stronger than anything you have." The Solar Wrath fired its full-power cannons. Blue light smashed into the command ship shields, breaking them apart like glass. The Overlord tried to escape, but the Wrath was faster. The human flagship crashed through the outer hull, tearing deep into the enemy vessel. Inside the slaver bridge, guards panicked. Systems exploded. Metal walls shook. The Overlord himself stumbled backward, staring at the glowing blue glow tearing into his ship. And then Arya's voice came through the broken speakers. "This is for every human you stole." The Solar Wrath unleashed a final blast. The slaver command ship erupted in a wave of white-blue fire, breaking apart in the sky above Cage World. The Overlord's reign ended in seconds, burning, shattered, and silent. On the planet below, Marines and freed prisoners looked up, the flames reflected in their eyes. The battle was over. The slaver empire had lost its leader, and humanity had risen. With the Overlord gone, the rest of the slaver fleet broke formation. Some fled in panic. Others surrendered. A few tried to fight, but the human ships hunting them down were full of fury built from 200 years of stolen lives. Within hours, Cage World was fully in human control. Commander Ren Hale stood beside Arya on the bridge as the last slaver ships retreated into the void. "You did it," he said quietly. "No," Arya replied. "We did it. All of us. And now the galaxy will know the truth." She activated the Solar Wrath's long-range broadcast. A holographic signal spread across every star system, every station, every civilized world. The message was simple, clear, unbreakable. "Humans of every colony, your missing people are alive. The slavers have been hiding for centuries." And the Galactic Council knew. Today, we end the lie. Shock waves rolled across the galaxy. Millions watched in disbelief. Billions felt anger rising. Alien nations who were once afraid of the slavers now stood with humanity. They broadcast support, offered ships, and demanded justice from the Council. Protests erupted across dozens of worlds. The galaxy had changed forever. Arya looked at her crew. Her voice was steady, but filled with emotion. "From today onward, we never hide again. We never kneel again. And no one slaver, council, or empire will ever touch a human without facing all of us." A roar of agreement filled the bridge. The Solar Wrath set course for the Galactic Council's central world. The truth was already spreading like fire. The old balance of power had fallen. A new era was rising. An era shaped by humanity. An era where slavers would never exist again. The slaver's fate was sealed, and the galaxy would never forget. And Arya Vale refused to bow.